I found my job via LinkedIn. I was recruited on LinkedIn, so hence I advocate for it because I know I've benefited from it.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to go onto the Microsoft platform. I was recruited on LinkedIn based on the interactions that I've had with recruiters and my visibility on LinkedIn. It just boils down to posting things that you're comfortable people to see. So if you're comfortable for your friends to see this particular thing, but you're not comfortable for a potential employer of seeing it, and then it means that you're also not comfortable with whatever you've posted. As someone that's in tech, I believe I'll always try to know what's new, even if I'm not using that particular technology, even if I'm not using that particular thing, but I still want to know what's artificial intelligence, how has it evolved? Maybe in the next 10 years there'll be a new technology. Even if I'm not using it, I still want to know what it is. How does it affect me? How does it affect my day-to-day life?
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.
Let me bring in now the guest on the line to us. Her name is Kutlwano Ngema. She's a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft with 5 years in the tech industry. Of course, she has a BA Information Management and BCom Information and Knowledge Management honors degree, both obtained from the university. Kutlwano has spent the past 5 years carving a niche in the tech industry, beginning her career as cloud engineer at Standard Bank and rising to the esteemed position of cloud solutions architect at Microsoft. Throughout her journey, she has honed her skill in designing, implementing, and managing cloud-based solutions, ensuring robust and scalable infrastructure for various organizations. She joins now on the line, and what we're going to be discussing here is making yourself visible on LinkedIn to attract potential mentors as well as employees, and how to remain visible once employed. She's on the line to us now. Kutlwano, thank you so much for staying on the line and having a conversation with us here. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Sure. I was looking at the job that you're doing, and I started by asking, what does your job entail? I mean, it looks like a very difficult position. What does it entail?
It's not really difficult. I think it's because I've been in it for some time now. So
Yeah.
what we do is we assist customers with migrating their on-prem or their applications that are hosted on-prem into the cloud. If they're not ready or cannot afford to be on the cloud, or for whatever reason, we can help them harness their applications and also help them maintain the applications that are hosted on-prem into the cloud. So if they want a hybrid approach or they want to fully migrate onto the cloud, that's where we come in. We help them architect the entire application from networking, infrastructure, all things infrastructure, storage, servers, which we call virtual machines on cloud. So that's, and we do quite a lot of educational sessions as well.
Oh, great stuff. So we're going to be focusing on LinkedIn and how to best maximize this. Firstly, we've heard a lot about this new and avant-garde way of communicating and getting exposure on our social media. But what is LinkedIn? Let's start there for somebody who may not know.
LinkedIn is a social media platform that is used for professional use. So this is where you expose yourself in terms of your career. This is where you find people that are in the career field that you're looking to getting into, or even just people that are in different careers. This is where you see people that are in marketing, that are in finance, that are in tech. And yeah, I think this is where you just expose yourself professionally. No dating, no posting selfies unnecessarily. So this is just strictly professional.
Right. How reliable is this as a tool to try and attract employees or employers? How reliable is this?
It's 100% reliable. I found my job via LinkedIn. I was recruited on LinkedIn, so hence I advocate for it because I know I've benefited from it. I didn't even have to go onto the Microsoft platform. I was recruited on LinkedIn based on the interactions that I've had with recruiters and my visibility on LinkedIn.
And who can use it, and how do you best use it?
I think anyone really, especially anyone that's starting in their career, anyone that's a student, anyone that's a learner even, because if you have any projects that you're working on, that's the best place to demonstrate your work. This is where you can start building your professional profile, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're still in university, you have projects that you're working on. You have maybe what do you call extramural activities that you're doing on campus. This is the best way, or LinkedIn is the best platform rather that you can use to showcase to potential employees what you're currently doing, because yes, it's important to document and have a document that you can send through with your CV. However, that will only be seen when you're sending your CV. So in order for you to get that visibility and for people to know what you're doing, it's always best to post and expose yourself on LinkedIn. And there's different ways. You can have like a video where you are speaking about what you're working on. You can have a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation that you can post on LinkedIn. So you can use it. It's very versatile. You can use it however you want, but keep it professional.
We are becoming increasingly digital citizens, and I know that you've already said that what need to be posted there is nothing other than professional stuff. How different, though, would you say LinkedIn is to other digital platforms?
So like I mentioned, it's not a platform that you can use to speak about how your day was, or post things that are of personal nature, if I can say so.
Yes.
You find people who are comfortable to post about their personal information on there, but it's strictly professional. This is where it's like your digital CV, right? So you don't want people to know that you were out at a club on a Saturday night or you were out with friends. So this is strictly just professional. This is where you build your network. This is where you find people who can help you grow your career. So you don't obviously have to present yourself as someone that's professional. You can have your moments on other social media platforms, but when it comes to LinkedIn, keep it professional.
There you go. I'm in conversation with Kutlwano Ngema. She's from Microsoft, working there, of course, as the cloud solutions architect. And she has already given us a sense of what goes into that particular job. You are, of course, welcome to join us on our platforms. We are TUT FM 96.2, listening from wherever you are. On Facebook, we are TUT FM 96.2. On both Instagram and Twitter. Well, now X. We are TUT FM 96. We are TUT FM _96.2. Of course, you are welcome, and we are having a conversation here, obviously, about how to best maximize these platforms and to make you more relevant even after employment, which I find quite important. We'll get to that stage of the conversation as the show wears on. But how do I increase visibility of my LinkedIn footprint, if you like?
So firstly, your profile picture, make sure that it's professional, it's neat, you have a clear background like I have. For people that are streaming, you'll see, just have a plain white background. Make sure that you are wearing a professional outfit. Sorry, you'll hear me talking about professional quite a lot, but I think that's what LinkedIn is about. You presenting yourself in such a professional manner, especially if you're going into corporate. Obviously, if you're a freelancer, you're in the arts, you present yourself differently. But if you're in corporate, obviously you need to look and act accordingly, right? So make sure profile picture is visible. People can see who you are, because people are drawn to people that they like. So if they can see you, they will be drawn to you, right? Secondly, make sure that your bio is clear and crisp. Who are you? What are you trying to do? So if you're still a student, you can write that I'm an aspiring engineer, aspiring cloud solution architect, and why you want to go into that field. But if you're already a cloud solution architect, you write, I'm a cloud solution architect. This is what I do, and this is what I'm special. When you post on LinkedIn, make sure that you have hashtags. That makes it more visible, makes your post more visible. Make sure that you use keywords. So if you are writing about data science, make sure that you speak a lot. You continuously emphasize and remind people that this article or this post is about data science. You don't want people reading your article or your post, and in the midst of it, they forget, what are we doing here? What are we talking about? So make sure that hashtags Make sure that you also comment. This is very important. When you have, let's say you've identified someone that you'd like to interact with, or you want someone to become your mentor, make sure that you comment on their post so that they can see who you are. Like, comment. If you don't know what to say, you've read the article, but you don't know how to add input, just mention great article, learned a lot. And then when you send them a LinkedIn request, that's when you can explain that, can you please connect with me because I read this particular article and I'd like to learn more from you. Then that will make you more attractive to the person that you're trying to connect with. So make sure even when you send someone a request, don't send a plain request. State there, hi, I'd like to connect with you because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that next person that's receiving your request knows why you want to connect with them and knows that you took the time to go through their profile.
5 years of solid experience. Kutlwano joining us on the line. You are taking that from probably the best reservoir you can draw from. And if you have any question at all, you can drop us a question or a WhatsApp as well on 012-382-9257. All right. Now, is it really a difficult thing? How do I go about setting that particular profile in a way that will make me come across as, like you said, professional?
No, it's really not difficult. Write about what you're doing or what you want to do, right? So, for example, if you're a student, you're a third-year student, right there, I'm a third-year student looking to go into this particular industry, and this is why I want to get into that industry, right?
Yeah.
And you can also, this is the current knowledge that I have. As a third-year student, I've worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 projects. Maybe you can list all the projects that you've done from first year to third year, which will make you more attractive to the potential employer or to even your mentor, because now they know who you are, they know what you're about, and they even know how they can be of assistance. Because if you come to me and you want to be my mentor, go through your LinkedIn profile, I don't see much about who you and what you're about. So it's very difficult for me to gauge if I can help or not. But if I can see, oh, you're doing this, you're doing in cloud, you're doing AWS, you're doing Azure, oh, this is in line with what I'm currently doing, therefore I can take this person under my wing. But if there's more information about you there, it's very, very difficult for the next person to want to engage with you.
So you actually need to feed that particular profile with new things, because I can imagine where they were talking about even the photos that you put in that profile need to speak volumes of who you are as a person. So I cannot go back to, for example, 1983 and draw a picture where basically I was doing nothing, bored under the tree. You've got to be careful as well in terms of the kind of photos. It was interesting to read that you even put there.
Yes, that's very important. Also, you also don't want to post things that are controversial, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to rub people off the wrong way. Not to say that you don't have freedom of speech, but like I mentioned, professional platform, you don't want to touch on things like politics. You don't want to touch on things like religion, because the last thing you want is to offend your potential recruiter.
Yes.
The last thing you want is to touch on or the nerve of someone that's having a bad day, and all of a sudden you were the best candidate, but because they just read a post about your political views, now they're no longer interested. So keep that to yourself, keep that to other social media platforms. And another thing is now most employees go into your other profiles as well. They want to see, how do you carry yourself on social media? How do you carry yourself on Facebook, on Instagram? Keep those thoughts to yourself in conversation with friends. When it comes to the other platforms, keep it light, keep it very simple.
Yo. And how do I know that I'm now visible and my profile is being seen? How do I track that?
You will never know. You will never know. As soon as you submit, let's say, for example, you undergo the process of applying for a job, right?
Yeah.
Or you've been recruited by someone. Immediately when they have your name and surname, they can either, one, ask permission to go on your social media. Two, they can just stalk you because they just want to see, who are you? Who are we bringing to the team? Does this person align to who and what we are about? Does this person go out? Obviously, they're not going to say it. These are unspoken things where, they speak about, do you go out every weekend where now you're not going to be able to come to work on a Monday because you have a hangover?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not saying don't go out, don't do all those things, but don't put it out there. Your digital footprint will always be there. So yeah, just to save yourself, don't do it.
So how do I make sure that there is, in terms of my post visibility? How do I ensure that that happens?
Like I mentioned, hashtags. Make sure that you have hashtags. Make sure that you are referencing things that are of your interest, right? So if you're in IT or you're into engineering, write about engineering work, write about problem solving when it comes to engineering, write about things that will make the recruiter aware that you are knowledgeable on this particular topic, or you are knowledgeable when it comes to this particular role that they're recruiting. So make sure you have hashtags, make sure that you comment, even if it's your post, comment on it, because the more you comment, the more comments are there, the more people will have visibility of it.
So there I was thinking, if you want to think of an employer who's hiring somebody, you're thinking of a boss who's probably sifting through a pile of CVs, but it looks like gone are those times. Do employers even look at these things?
They do. Recruiters do. And even your hiring managers sometimes may even go on to the length of just checking. And not to say this is like a final thing where you'll be judged based on what you do on social media. Definitely your credentials, your work experience takes precedence, but no one wants to hire someone that they deem to be problematic, right? So, and I know it's some people may find it very uncomfortable to hear that, but everyone wants to work with an easy person. So if they see that you're always posting things that they are making them uncomfortable, or that will make the next person uncomfortable, you endorsing GBV, you endorsing things that are not of good nature, people might just reject you for that.
A minute exactly after the hour 8, this is Plug a Graduate. We bring in some esteemed guests to join us and help us understand and navigate, especially the world of work. It's getting ever so changing, and we bring in people from all guises and all sorts of professions to help us understand how to best handle yourself in a world where many are arguing, well, there are jobs. It's a question of, you remember when I had a conversation with Thabo Lebalele, who said, commit yourself at least 4 hours, 3 hours of your time every day. In the same way you would commit yourself to activities that are not even profitable, do that, make it your habit. I remember these are the words he used. So that, coming from a mind of somebody who stepped deep into the industry, might change how you begin to look at the world of work and the job market. And today we do have Kutlwano Ngema, who's the cloud solution architect at Microsoft, and we are talking becoming visible on LinkedIn to attract employers and staying relevant beyond employment. Yes, gone are the times when posting was just posting simply because you were bored. It might count against you. Careful what you post, especially if it's LinkedIn we are talking about. 2 minutes after the hour 8, we come back straight after an ad break. If you do have questions at all, or you want to weigh in on this particular conversation, you can give us a WhatsApp question or comment on 012 382 9257. This is TUTFM, Plug a Graduate. It's exactly after the hour 8 o'clock, and we are back to our conversation. Mpumi, I received your question. Listen in for a more detailed answer. Of course, I also got your message there, Rachel. From Montana, also got your question. Tsepiso Surumule, your question will be coming in, and I suppose Kutlwano will give you the right sort of answer. And I also got your question there, Desiree Malebia from Letlabile. We also have a question from Sello in Soshanguve. If you do have any question, please send them in. Yeah, the more the merrier. It's 012 382 9257. All right. Let me squeeze in one question. I'm not going to ask those questions in quick succession, but I'm going to throw them as we go in to the last hour. Now, coming back to you, Kutlwano, we do have a question here from Mpumi Sizagele Letoka, who's coming out of Klapgat, and she's asking, in fact, the message is, hi, Obakeng, recruiters who go onto social media to search for your lifestyle, I feel that it is not fair. Is it not an infringement of the POPI Act That's the question there from Mrs. Agelele Toka from Klaphat. You got that question, I would imagine, Kutlwano?
Like I mentioned, with some recruiters, they will ask for permission to go on your social media. If you're not comfortable with it, then you can say no. But also the best option is to keep your social media private. Have a private Instagram account, have a private Facebook account so that you can also just post in peace. But also another thing is you just want to be obviously posting things that you're also comfortable for other people to see.
Right. So the question there for me, especially when she was talking, when you were replying to the question around whether you agree or not, if they give you a call to say, can we check in? I mean, how does saying no going to affect me? Because immediately somebody on the other side might get a sense of, he's hiding something. Is that likely to count against me if I said no?
Because I'm not a recruiter, I don't know, but I doubt it does. I think it just boils down to posting things that you're comfortable people to see. So if you're comfortable for your friends to see this particular thing, but you're not comfortable for a potential employer of seeing it, and then it means that you're also not comfortable with whatever you've posted.
Right. So let's talk about the benefits. You've touched quite fleetingly on those. I'd like you to get more in details as to the benefits of using a platform like that.
Yes.
Please go into, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So obviously, the benefits of using LinkedIn, one, you have a pool of recruiters that you can contact or that can also contact you. Three, you have industry experts that you will never, ever get the chance to meet in person, but you have the opportunity to learn from them based on what they post on social media. Three, you get exposure on different roles that people occupying, be it you're in a financial sector or in the tech sector, because you know, when in school you just know that, oh, I'm going to be a what do you call this, I'm going to be a software engineer, I'm going to be a network engineer, and as soon as you get exposed to things such as LinkedIn or platforms such as LinkedIn, you get to know, oh, there's a cloud solutions architect, there's a cloud engineer, what does that do? And then as you learn about these careers, and then you realize, oh, I'm more interested and keen in going into this particular role, and you can apply for it based on the knowledge and the skills that you have. So I think for me, more than anything, it also exposes you to different things that you can embark on. One, it can even be used as a platform where you can get funding. If you have a project that you're working on and you want to be funded, or you want to start a small business, that's where you promote yourself. That's where you promote your business so that you can find, one, customers, two, funders. There's angel investors that you don't even know that are lurking on LinkedIn. As long as you can post about your work, I think LinkedIn is that place where you just brag about all the good things that you do, all the work that you've put in. So yeah, those are the benefits that I can think of at the top of my head.
And of course, it can be used, I would imagine it to be a usable tool for a businessman as well.
Yes, it can.
And how do you, as perhaps a businessman, I suppose the same rule would apply in terms of making sure that what you post there is strictly about business?
Strictly about business, post about your products every day, annoy people. I think in order to get that visibility as well, post as much as you can. Post as much as you can. Have a schedule of some sort. Maybe every 2 to 3 days, you post about your product. Tell people what your product is about. If you've modified and made amendments to that particular product that you have, post about it, that, oh, we've added a new ingredient, or, oh, we have this now, oh, we have a new marketing department that we've just opened. Make sure that people know who you are and what your business is all about, especially know about your product and the benefit that comes with consuming it.
We know that social media by its very own nature is susceptible to a number of ills, for a lack of better word. Are there disadvantages to this particular platform if you were to use it as a reliable tool on your part?
Not that I can think of. I think it's just a platform that motivates you. Like if you, for example, I use it for that. If I have that day where I'm just feeling tired, sluggish, and I have quite a lot of work to do, I just go on LinkedIn. You see someone have posted, they've obtained a certification of some sort, and you just like, oh, that's you know. So I think if you have to use it to an extent that you are not pressurizing yourself, because it can maybe come with a little pressure where you feel like, oh my God, my peers are doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and I'm not there yet. My peers are CEOs, or my peers are getting promotions and I'm still in the same place and we started together. So if you go in it without having that emotional intelligence, it can consume you, where you feel like everyone is doing better than you are.
All right. Now let's go to the question that has been sent in by Rochelle Hrobla from Montana, who's saying, why do companies employ recruiters to seek for people on LinkedIn where they can do it for themselves and get the best people? I feel as if recruiters are just dangling a carrot, then we reach out, then we don't get anywhere.
I think also I can't really respond to that because I'm not in the human resource division. But I think also it's just a matter of, in order to get the best candidates, they need to put people out there. There's different platforms, like we are evolving. This is the fourth industrial revolution that we are currently in. Therefore, things are evolving. It's not always going to be paper-based or calling people or expecting people to submit their CVs. Now they are going into platforms such as LinkedIn, because they know that they don't have to be asking, do you have this? Do you have that? On your LinkedIn, we already know the certifications that you have. We already know the experience that you have. When a recruiter approaches you, they are offering you a job because they already know what you are about. It's not now a conversation starter where, oh, so what do you do? Where have you done it? How are you doing it? It's just, LinkedIn has made it quite easy for employers to find best candidates.
On the line to me now is Kutlwano Ngema, Cloud Solutions Architect at Microsoft, and we are talking becoming visible on LinkedIn to attract employers and staying relevant beyond employment. It's a very interesting part. We're still maneuvering the conversation towards that point where I was even saying a lot of people cannot think about their lives beyond employment. So it is that we're beginning to challenge, to say you need to start thinking perhaps the earlier the better. 13 minutes exactly after the hour 8. We come back after a quick ad break. Tepiso Sirumule, hang in there. I mean, your question is still coming. There's another question from Desiree Malebe from Lekabile. Please tune in and tell your friends to also send those questions. Silo from Soshanguve, sit tight, because your question is also coming through. If you are listening at home and you want to fashion in a question, you are more than welcome to do exactly that on 0123829257. We take a quick turn. We are back in 2 shakes. 17 minutes it is after the hour 8. You're welcome in case you've just walked in and perhaps fresh from work, fresh from other errands. You are indeed welcome. Listen in and begin to take note. You might have a brother who's looking for a job, a brother who's into the cloud space, so to speak, who you may take note for. And maybe call him. Tell him to stream us live. Yeah? We are www.tutfm96.2.co.za. And then you can begin to ask that question yourself. How you do that is you send us a WhatsApp on 0123829227. This is 9257. Get it right, Aubrey. This is Plug a Graduate on a Wednesday. We always do this with very, very metaphysical conversations. These are happening at a much higher level, and we're talking to people who have solutions, people who will give us ideas on how to unlock what you consider an impediment in your journey to either improving your career, growing your business, or getting that job. And on the line to me today, we do have Kutlwano Ngema, who's from Cloud Solution Architect at Microsoft, and is on the line to me now. Well, how does this LinkedIn, Kutlwano, as I bring you back into the conversation, hopefully you are back, Kutlwano?
Yes, I am.
Yes, let's now get into, how does this help me? How do I make use of this tool to actually help me stay relevant beyond employment? And maybe just before I get into that, I was saying right at the top of our conversation that not many people, it is safe to say, are able to think beyond when they stop working. They are unable to think beyond employment. So how do I make sure that this tool is able to sustain me? Because after I've left my job, I'm not dead as yet. I still have life to live. How do I make sure that I use this tool to maximize the chances of me being relevant even beyond the work that I do?
So on LinkedIn, they have what do you call this? A feature called endorsement, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on endorsement, this is where people that you've worked with, say for example, you had colleagues that you're working on projects with, and maybe you were the project manager at your organization, or you've worked on various projects that you have led, and people are aware of that particular skill that you have.
Yeah.
They can go on LinkedIn and endorse you. So everyone that goes onto your profile will know that you have been endorsed by more than one person when it comes to this particular skill.
Yeah.
Therefore, it means you are an expert of some sort. So maybe you're done with your job, or you've resigned, or whatever the case might be, and you want to be a freelancer,
Yeah.
right? So obviously, you're going to take all the projects that you did from your previous organization with you. They want to stay there, but as long as you have endorsement there, and you want to become a freelancer, you want to start your own organization, at least on LinkedIn, you have somewhat of proof that you are good at this particular skill. You are good at software development. You are good with project management. You're good with cloud skills, whatever the case might be. So that particular option or feature makes it quite great for people, even when you're still employed, right? Because another thing is people start posting quite frequently when they're still looking for jobs, and once they get employed, they then stop posting. You still need to post, attend industry events, make sure that you post about the projects that you've worked on, the skills, and it also doesn't have to be good news all the time. If you're working on a project and you encountered blockers, write about those blockers. One, it can help the next person. Two, you can find solution from the broader audience, right? Rather than being stuck with this particular problem that you are encountering, you can find assistance on the platform itself. So even when you're still employed, very, very important to keep your skills updated, because the last thing you want is for people to know that, oh, maybe you were a software engineer, but now you've transitioned into a new role or into a new career. Make sure that you continuously update so that recruiters, potential mentors can know exactly what, or even mentees, right? Can know exactly what you're currently specializing in.
And already I'm hearing somebody who's saying, well, obviously once you get employed, you're not going to have the time that you probably did have when you were looking for that particular job. So updating regularly will prove a challenge, no doubt.
I think it's all about being intentional. If you can spend just less than 30 minutes, 15 minutes a week even, right? Just jotting down your thoughts about a particular topic at hand that you want to discuss. It doesn't have to be like a long thing. It doesn't have to be a lengthy thing. Even with certifications, you can update your certifications. If you are writing a certification, obviously you can't be away from social media. It's not a thing where you have to be on it every day. You have to post every day. But being intentional about the type of platform that you're trying to build, or type of profile that you're trying to build, 15 minutes won't hurt. If you're commuting, if you're just chilling on a Saturday morning or Friday morning, just take that time and post whatever that you need to post and let it be.
All right, I'll take a question here that came through from one Tsepiso Serumule, who's actually, in fact, there's one before that, no name and location written here, but the question is, does AI on LinkedIn help when messaging recruiters?
I can't comment on that, but I do believe right now we are, like I mentioned, fourth industrial revolution. AI has taken place. There are probably tools that recruiters are using now to make sure that they locate the best candidate. And this is just my assumption. I don't know if it's true.
All right. Let me take another one quickly there from Tsepiso Surumule, who's saying, hi, Obakeng and your guest, Kutlwano. You just testified that you were picked from LinkedIn. Now, how long did it take for you to get notices? Were you trying to be recognized?
Not really. I was just posting about my work. I was just posting about things I was interested in. I kept on upskilling. So when I do Microsoft certifications, I'll post and update them on my profile. if I'm learning something, and like I mentioned, just post things that are relevant to you, right? So if, for example, I learned about Azure monitoring, I just post what did I learn from it? What challenges did I think that I identified, or benefits that I identified about Azure monitoring, and then that's all I did. I just posted about my current work, and hence I'm saying even when you're a student, write about your projects, write about the experience that you've had. If you're doing extramural activities, write about if you're doing a side project apart from your school project, write about it, document that entire journey from when you started until you completed.
Right. Earlier on, go ahead.
Yes, so I was just saying that to answer the viewers, the listeners rather, question, no, I wasn't looking to be seen. I was just doing what I wanted to do, which is just share my insights and learn from the platform or people that were posting about things that I found intriguing.
I go back to how to use this particular platform to stay relevant beyond employment. And of course, what you said earlier on was in reference to somebody who would be looking for a job. What does an employer do to make sure that this platform does work maximally for him?
I can, because I'm not an employer, I wouldn't know the extent that they go to, but I think the basic thing is they post their job opportunities there, and hence it's important for people that are looking for jobs to be on LinkedIn, right? So if you join LinkedIn, there's also a feature where on your profile picture, you can select looking to be hired, if I'm not mistaken. It's green, and if you're hiring, you can have like a hiring thing around your face. So one, it makes it visible for people to know that, oh, this particular person is hiring, therefore I can approach that particular individual or recruiter. And if you have the green one, just forgot what it's called, people know that you are looking, open to work, right? Then recruiters will know that, oh, this person is looking for a job. If they go on your profile and see that you meet the minimum requirements, then they can approach you. So I think from an organizational point of view, I think it's just a matter of posting their job openings there so that people that are on LinkedIn can apply from the platform.
All right. So for many, as we discuss getting relevant beyond employment, and at the top of the show, in fact, I was saying not many people can think that far. As soon as the job is over, once they retire, they begin to then pretty much act more like they are dead. Now, why are we seeing that where people cannot even think? I know it's a far more broader question, but maybe you can look at some of the key factors there that brings this about. Why do we have so many people who cannot really think about adding value outside their employment?
Most probably people are tired. Maybe they feel like they've contributed enough in the industry, or they've contributed enough throughout their entire journey. I mean, if you've been working since you were 21 and then you're retired 60, those are many years that you've worked, right? But you find people who still feel like they can contribute. They're still doing research, right? Maybe they're not employed, but they're doing research on the side. They can still post about their research with their intents, with their knowledge that they've gained throughout the years, and the knowledge that they're currently gaining from the research that they're doing. Or sometimes some of them are supervisors, where they're helping other people grow in their careers, and they can write about that experience, right? So like I mean, now we are in a time where if there's an opportunity to make money, why don't you can retire but still have time, still have the energy, become a freelancer, become a contractor. And in order for you to get those opportunities, obviously you still need to be relevant. People still need to know that you're on top of your game. If you were a programmer, they still want to know that, oh, you know of the new programming languages, you're still not stuck in the old age, you know what cloud is, and you know what artificial intelligence is. So it's quite important for you to stay abreast of these skills and technologies. If you're in tech, and obviously if you're in a different industry, stay abreast of all those changes so that you can be relevant even after you leave employment and you still want to work. That's if you still want to work.
All right. So you need to keep up to speed with the latest development. And in fact, that's the question I wanted to ask you, that it would prove very tough to stay relevant given the ever-changing landscape of the world of work, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think it would be, but if you are, I think it also depends on the industry that you're in, right?
Yeah.
So I believe this is just my assumption. As someone that's in tech, I believe I'll always try to know what's new, even if I'm not using that particular technology, even if I'm not using that particular thing. But I still want to know what's artificial intelligence. How has it evolved? Maybe in the next 10 years there'll be a new technology. Even if I'm not using it, I still want to know what it is. How does it affect me? How does it affect my day-to-day life?
Right. So let's get to the question posed now by Desiree Malebia from Letabile. Thank you for listening, Desiree, and many others who are sending those questions in. I know that there are many other questions coming, and I've seen all those questions. Sit tight. The answer is still coming. I've seen some from Harankua as well. But let's get to Desiree Malebia, who's out in Letabile, who's writing a message here saying, thank you, Obakeng, for yet another good show. I've been trying to go through last week. My question is easy. Does being a premium user on LinkedIn, is it more advantageous than just being a regular user?
Yes, it is, because you get the opportunity to have direct messages or direct conversation with most people that are on the premium field. So if you're just a regular user, obviously sometimes you might be prohibited from sending a direct message to that particular person. The only thing that you can do is just send them a connect and wait for them to connect with you. But if you're on premium, you get to have that direct conversation with them, and I think you get to that person quicker compared to someone that's not on premium.
Exactly 29 and a half minutes before the hour 9. We will get those questions coming in. Let's hope that you are answered. Mpumi Sizagele Letoka from Klaphat, and thank you for that question. Rochelle Hrobla from Montana, thank you for that question as well. And thank you for listening. Make that your habit every day, anytime. And Tsepiso Sirumule also got your question, I suppose, answered by Kutlwano. Desiree, you got your question from Letabile as well. We're going to take a break. Silva from Social Nguve, your answer is coming up next. We take a break. We're back. 25 exactly before the hour 9. And just from my interest, Kutlwano, I was wondering, in terms of the space within which you are working, and this is the question I'm asking myself, as to whether we are beginning to see more and more women. I'm inspired by the fact that as a woman, you are into that particular space. Not that it's surprising, you deserve to be there, you belong there. But I was wondering whether we are seeing more and more women moving into that particular space, or is it still an intensely male-dominated world?
Thank you for that. Yes, we are seeing quite a lot of women going into the tech industry, and we have a lot of platforms that have been created by women, such as Girl Code. There's Women in Tech. There's quite a lot of organizations that are making sure that especially young girls from high school are motivated to take STEM-related courses, and also transitioning. You find people that did engineering, finance, and as soon as they're done graduating, they get opportunities like internships that don't require you to have a specific STEM degree. Then you get into it, and then they love it. And now I think I am seeing quite a lot of women in tech or women in the industry. Yes.
Well, many were saying perhaps a lot of people then went to school to try and take the jobs that are available there. But again, we're beginning to see perhaps a saturation of the market. For somebody who's contemplating options as to which way to take, would you advise them to get into that particular space? Is it fraught with opportunities?
I think so, yes. There is. I would encourage any day. I would encourage young girls. I would encourage someone that's thinking about pivoting. If you're in a particular industry that you feel like you've contributed enough or you want something new, I would advise someone to get into tech. And there's different technical and non-technical roles. You have your project managers that are non-technical. You have your engineers that are more technical. So there's quite a lot of roles that people can get into in tech industry. Technical or non-technical, that's where you need to start, and then you can take it from there.
So I need to be a genius. I need to know maths. I need to get the 100%. What do I need to do? What do I need to look like? What character do I need to have? in order to achieve those dizzying heights that you've reached?
One, obviously, you obviously don't. It depends on the course that you're trying to get into, right? So each and every course that the university will have their required APS score that they need you to have. They'll have their own requirements, and if you cannot afford to go the university route, there's boot camps, there's technical boot camps that people can take. Obviously, in that regard, you don't have to have 100% in math or 90%, whatever the case might be. They just teach you from scratch. They take you as you are and teach you how to code, teach you how to become a software engineer. Obviously, it takes time, it takes years, it takes months sometimes, but it's just a matter of you being intentional, dedicated, and they give you projects. You work on real world projects so that when you're looking for a job, you can say, I worked on this is what I did, this is what I learned, and that's where also LinkedIn comes to play. This is where you can showcase your work and speak about your experiences.
Let's go to our questions now. We have one from Sello around Soshanguve who says, you speak about hashtags. What are the most effective hashtags?
So the most effective hashtags are based on that particular topic that you're talking about, right? So if I'm writing about cloud engineering or cloud solutions architect, firstly would be, and especially since I'm in Microsoft, maybe I'm posting about things that are Microsoft related, right? Yes, related are hashtag AWS, hashtag Amazon, hashtag maybe if I'm writing about storage, hashtag storage. If I'm writing about FinOps, which is, I'll write hashtag FinOps. So based on whatever that you are posting about, if it's data science, hashtag data science. So based on whatever that you're writing about, make sure that you put hashtags there so that your post can be visible.
All right.
So
now,
you don't want to be random where you're writing about data science, but you say hashtag science, hashtag finance.
Yeah.
How is that? You see, so make sure that it's in relevant. Hashtag tech, hashtag technology, based on whatever that you're posting about and the industry as a whole.
Yep. And another question here that came in is one for campus ICT, say on-campus ICT student out in Pretoria, and he's asking here, out of 10, how likely is it for LinkedIn to hire someone who have subscribed to LinkedIn? I have not seen a LinkedIn job post.
You have not seen a link? Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. I'll share all this information with you, Honzi, so that you can share with your audience. There's quite a lot of internships that are out there. There's quite a lot of jobs that are out there on LinkedIn. I'm glad that you posed that question, because if you are saying you've never seen one before, either maybe you're not searching on the right place, or you're I'm happy you brought that up. I'll share all the information. I'll share all the links. I'll share how I'll do like a step-by-step process on how to go about searching for jobs on LinkedIn.
20 exactly before the hour 9. Do keep your eyes peeled and look out for that information on all our social media platforms. We are TUT FM 96.2 on Facebook and on Twitter or now X. And of course on Instagram, we are TUTFM_96.2. All right. Keep those questions coming in if you do have questions at all, or a comment at best. And Lucky, thank you very much for raising that particular question. And as I said right at just about a minute ago, you can always check out our social media platforms. I hear Kutlwano will send those for you to be able to access. Very important question indeed. If you do have a question, we have 19 minutes left. Of course, you can do that on 0123829257. I'll ask one particular question here before I take another quick breather. It's coming from Lerato Modise from Garankuwa, who's asking, you see a lot of recruiters post pictures of people they have helped get jobs. How likely that they are doing it for their own marketing strategies to get companies to become their clients? I hope you get that.
I do. Again, I'm not a recruiter. Yeah. I'm not in the human resources space. Therefore, I cannot comment on that.
All right. 18 exactly before the hour 9. We take another brief turn. We come back in 2 shakes of a lamp's tail. We are edging closer and closer towards the end of the show. This is the Groundbreakers, and the feature you're listening to is happening on an every Wednesday basis between the hour 7:30 and 9 o'clock. It's Plug a Graduate, and joining us on the line, we do have Kutlwano Ngema, who is, of course, an architect of cloud solution architect, if you like, at Microsoft. And we are talking an important discussion here. 18, make it 17 and a half brio before 9. To this, of course, we have one question as well from one of our listeners. Sit tight, Akona Siko. Your question will be coming through listening to us out of Dobsonville. And thank you so much. You can tell the whole Dobsy to listen live on www.tutfm96.2.co.za. Thank you so much for staying with us at least until this particular point. Shows a great deal of patience indeed. All right, now there's one thing I've spotted then about your level of passion, Kutlwano, especially for students and mentoring them. And there I was asking myself, how important is mentoring, and what makes you so passionate about empowering other students?
Oh, yes, I am. I am passionate about mentoring students because I am a mentee myself, right?
Yes.
So you never know everything. You can use platforms such as LinkedIn and other social media platforms, but there's always those nuggets that are going to help you, that you find directly from someone that's in a position that you want to be in, right?
Yeah.
So these are the people that will speak about you when you're not in the room. So we have sponsors and we have mentors, right?
Yeah.
Sponsors, those are the people that will speak about you when you're not in the room, where if there's an opportunity, they'll say, oh, I have a Kutlwano that does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think she'll be the best candidate. Those are the people that speak on your behalf.
Yes.
And your mentor, that's someone that helps you carve a journey, your career journey, making sure that you do the correct certification, making sure that you take, if you have job opportunities, you make the right move, because sometimes you can move because the money is good, or you move because your friends are there, but it's not a great career move for you. So though your mentor will be that person that helps you, that you tell from the get-go that this is where I want to go, and they walk alongside with you. They make sure that you keep, you stay committed rather to the goals that you've set for yourself. So for me, mentors are a great deal for me. They've helped me so much. I've almost made mistakes, but because I bounce off my ideas or whatever I want to do to my mentor, they will come back and say, oh, this is a great idea, you can go for it, or no, maybe wait a bit, this is what I think you should do. So there's always it's always great to have someone that's assisting you in your journey. So hence I advocate for mentoring.
All right, here's the final question before I let you go. It's been a great and uplifting, very edifying conversation. Now, this one comes from Akona Seko, who's saying, hi, Obakeng, I'm Akona Seko from Dobsonville. I'm more interested to know about Kutlwano's day-to-day responsibilities at Microsoft. I'm more interested on cloud solutions.
Okay, so as a cloud solutions architect, we help. We teach organizations about cloud, especially if they're still fully operating on-prem, right?
Right.
So on-premises, it's when they're hosting their own servers, their own applications, either on a service provider's data center or their own data center. So what we do is we say, leave that particular data center that you have, because now you're paying for infrastructure, you're paying for storage, you're paying for cooling, you're paying for the entire infrastructure. If you move to the cloud, what we call Microsoft Azure, Microsoft will then cover certain costs when it comes to the infrastructure, because now you're hosting your service where on our data center. We handle some of the costs, and I wish I was presenting, because I'll show you different stages where you have a public cloud where you're fully migrating onto the cloud. You have a private cloud. We also have a hybrid approach where you still keep some of your servers on premises or on a particular data center, but you still maybe have, or you move or migrate some of your data, some of your application or portion of your application onto the cloud. We help organizations modernize their applications, right? So maybe they've built this application in 2001 or in 1994, we say, let's show you the new way of doing things. Let's introduce things such as AI. Let's show you how you can spend less, how you can cost optimize, how you can make your applications more scalable. So when you have things such as maybe Black Friday, maybe you're a retailer and you have Black Friday, know that you'll have a lot of people, a large influx on your application at that particular time on your website. That's where we come in to help you make sure that you are ready for those particular days where you are expecting a high demand or a large traffic rather on your website. So yes, we do a lot of educational sessions. We help architect you, like I mentioned, we help you modernize your application. So if you're using we have things such as platform as a service, we have things such as infrastructure as a service. So all of these things that I'm talking about, they are online, whereas with maybe currently maybe that particular organization is still operating on premises. And we have what we call Azure Arc, which allows you to monitor your on-premises application onto the cloud. You haven't migrated to the cloud, but you have the opportunity to monitor your application onto the cloud and your service onto the cloud.
There you go. Kutlwano, thank you so much. You've been great sports. Hopefully we are able to continue this more technical conversations going forward, but I thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you and learning more about becoming visible on LinkedIn to attract employers and obviously staying relevant beyond employment. Kutlwano Ngema, who is a cloud solutions architect at Microsoft. I want to thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
On the line to us now. Let's take a break. When we return, trying to wrap two issues here very, very briefly. And obviously it's going to be around briefly. Right, sure. Kutlwano, do you still have Kutlwano on?
Yes, I'm still here.
All right. It's refreshing because we have a question that is coming in. In fact, I thought we are done, but the nature of the groundbreakers is such that people will come in very late, perhaps from work, and find the conversation juicy, find it quite interesting, and questions keep flowing in. If you may, please stay briefly for us on the line as we take a break. When we return, we'll bring those questions in. I thought we should do that in all fairness, Kutlwano, just so we don't leave just a single person out. Please bear with me where that is concerned.
Okay, no problem.
All right, let's take a break and see if we can get that question when we return. Exactly 7 minutes and a half. Of course, we will advise you, because we fled out of time. I may have to let Kutlwano go, but I appreciate your grace. I appreciate your good spirit to agree to stay on the line. But we'll have those questions coming in, Kutlwano, and if need be, of course, we'll bring you back to answer some of the questions that may arrive after you have left. I mean, we seem to be struggling to extract those particular questions. We'll nonetheless make sure that we find ways for you to have those questions coming in. And yeah, that's a question. Hopefully you are there. Ponzo is obviously on the line. Ponzo, good evening.
Good evening, Obakeng. How are you?
I cannot complain. Please send those questions in. I hope Kutlwano is listening.
Okay, Kutlwano, my question is, I don't know if you already answered this, but is it important to have your profile picture on your LinkedIn profile? And the other thing, I usually hear people say that it is important to have endorsements on your LinkedIn profile. Why is it important for one to have endorsement on their LinkedIn profile? Thank you.
You got that question, Kutlwano?
Yes, I do. So it is quite important to have your profile picture because people would like to see who they're interacting with. I find it very strange when someone is on LinkedIn and they don't have a profile picture. It's a preference. It's okay if you prefer having it that way, but I like to see who am I interacting with, who is on the other side, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Very, very important. And make sure that you have a professional headshot. It doesn't have to be taken by a professional photographer, but make sure a clear background, you dress appropriately, especially since if you want to go into the corporate space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And things have changed. You don't always have to be suited up and stuff, but just look neat, look decent, look approachable. And then when it comes to endorsements, I touched on endorsements before. This is when someone has worked with you and they can advocate, they can say that, hi, I've worked with Kutlwano. I know that she's good with this particular skill. Therefore, I'm endorsing this particular skill. It makes people aware that you are somewhat of an expert in this particular field with that particular skill, and they can trust you, and they can also approach you if they have questions. So maybe, for example, someone endorsed me with problem solving or project management. They can say, hi, Kutlwano, I have this particular issue or I have this particular project. I want to start it. I don't know how to go about it. I saw that you endorsed, you have this particular skill. Please help me out. So it makes it easier for people to approach you because they know that you specialize in this, and it also makes employees or potential employers rather to see that you are very good at this particular thing. People are even willing to put their name because you can even see who endorsed you. Therefore, hence it's important to have endorsements over there.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Kutlwano, for your time. Looking forward to more conversations in the future.
Thank you so much.
All right, there you go. Our guest, I'll let her go. It's exactly 3.5 minutes before the hour. 3.5 before the hour 9. Brings us to the end of our conversation. But before I tell you the most powerful team on production earth, let me remind you that the Nelson Mandela Children's Foundation, together with the Health and Welfare Sector Education and Training Authority, HWSETA, invite graduates who seek practical work experience and who are interested in the occupation mentioned below to apply for an internship program. Now, the hospital aims to enhance the employability of unemployed graduates as potential employees through this program. Therefore, applicants are required to have no previous work experience in the stated area of study. The program will offer opportunities to South African graduates who require work experience in their specialty. The training will include joining the NMCH team or on a fixed term for 12 months beginning in July. That is the 1st of July 2024. So eligibility in terms of what you need to have to be eligible for that particular learnership program is that any South African, you need to be a South African first who qualifies for work experience for university graduate learners on 1, post-basic, 2, pharmacy technician. Closing date is the 1st of July. Check our social media platforms to look at all the relevant details. I know that Kutlwano has also said that she will send some of those on that particular platform for you to decipher and be able to understand. Hopefully, make maximum use of that particular opportunity. Thank you so much to everyone who have sent those particular questions. Not only those, and those who were listening from wherever they were, whether that was Montana, Ga-Rankuwa, Dobsonville. I want to appreciate your time. It's important that you are listening because I'm here. Remember, for you. We are here for you. So thank you so much. If this show is able to get a call from somebody who said, listen, I was accepted in that learnership program. And if there are positive stories to tell about how this feature has impacted your life, please come back and give us a feedback. We'd like to know how you fared. We'd like to know and celebrate with you when you get that particular job. Please do that. And let me thank the entire team. It's a production team. It's a World Cup winning squad. I'll tell you where production is concerned. Thanks to Kidibone Mahapa Tilela, the station manager, as well as the producer of The Groundbreakers. Neseja Senosha is a videographer and post-production coordinator. Thanks, Sipokekana, manning the technical production there as a technical producer. Tsepo Kgokana is a videographer and social media coordinator. Dr. Ronan Brink is the Director of Corporate Education here at Tshwane University of Technology. Thanks to Shalati Poshia Davane as well, the Manager of Alumni Relations and Fundraising from TUT. Thanks. Simply G. Khonsemolefe is the Programs Manager and Plug A Graduate Director. Well, I'm told I'm an anchor and a presenter of the Groundbreakers and Plug A Graduate. Well, of course, you can visit us on YouTube, on TUTFM, on your YouTube channel to watch all the episodes that you may have missed. We also invite you to participate on our Plug A Graduate online survey posted on Facebook, that is TUTFM 96.2, on Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. There you go. This is where I leave it. The Rayma Singh will step in anytime henceforward. He will take care of business between the hour 9 and 12. It is the date night show. I'm Obakeng Mooketsi. And remember what I always say. You don't stop because you are tired. You stop because you are done. I'm done. Good night.
The Groundbreakers, Mondays to Thursdays, 7 to 9 p.m. on TUT FM.